It's news time. Information is power. Be current. The news headline: Biafra must die so that Igbo self-determination can live. The signs are already there that the word Biafra is likely to take Igbo nation to a desolate place, if not set aside, as revealed in parts 1 and 2 of this series. The word Biafra does not meet the international law. See the Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States and the United Nations UNDRIP criteria for getting self-determination. Therefore, those who call themselves Biafra agitators, whether they are sadly the victims of deception or are themselves the deceiver, really ought to be referred to as fake activists. Still more, it is one thing for little children to believe in Father Christmas and to expect him to come on 24th of December night, but it is quite alarming for adults to believe that Biafra will come when they have seen no evidence of any work done for it, plus can read for themselves that the word Biafra fails when it comes to satisfying self-determination criteria. What is quite certain is that those claiming to bring self-determination for Igbos by using the word Biafra have only one thing in mind: they want power over others and the money that comes with it. So they gather up a following by manipulating the very strong emotions that some people have for that word. They are ruthless and without conscience over the damage they cause the people who accept their lies as truth and put their hopes of freedom on them. It is all quite a pitiful situation. Moreover, it signals danger ahead for Igbo nation, which will be very briefly explained. The key to grasping the danger that Biafra promises represents is in their desire for unmerited power. Having to employ lies, frauds, and even deadly violence does not in any way discourage them. They press on, daily promoting the word Biafra. Using South Africa as an illustration, black people had wanted freedom from the evil system of apartheid. Jacob Zuma was one of the ANC leaders who fought for the decommissioning of the apartheid constitution and for self-determination for black people. When South Africa started a new dispensation, those who led the anti-apartheid fight were rewarded by being president turn by turn. There were several misgivings when it now came the turn for Zuma to become president, because there had been allegations of corruption, plus his womanizing, revealed indiscipline, signs that he lacked the character needed to take South Africa to a great future. Sure enough, South Africa began to diminish under President Zuma. It became known for corruption and violence, including xenophobic violence against other Africans. Zuma was criticized for, if not supporting it, at least not doing enough to stop killings. More recently, when Zuma was convicted for corruption, it was his supporters in his own province who carried out the violent riots and disgraceful looting. Many had always thought that Zuma should never have been allowed to lead South Africa. He wanted power and he schemed to get it and was able to manipulate his followers, who we can see as quick to use deadly violence against their people. Now, looking at South Sudan, once they got their freedom from Arab, that is the Sudan, problems started from Riek Machar, who wanted power. He had been a leader in the fight for freedom and self-determination, and so had Salva Kiir became president, but Machar's craving for power made him a rival who would not rest until he was recognized with high enough power, even if it meant war in the new country of South Sudan. To get power-hungry Machar to stop worrying President Kiir how to form an unsteady unity government and make Machar his vice. And this is the analysis by riffnotes.com, trying to justify some reasons why Biafra needs to die before the Igbo self-determination can actually surface. The writer is actually of the opinion that the signs that Biafra will actually have the Igbo nation is actually blur, because they are trying to take the Igbo nation to a desolate place, trying to refer to the fact that the international law does not support the word Biafra, because it does not meet up with the standard for getting self-determination. And he referenced the Convention on Rights and Duties of the States and also the United Nations, which is UNDRIP. He says that whenever those who are calling themselves Biafra agitators are done with deceiving themselves, then they will do the needful. Saying that Biafra will come is only something that will not happen, because there is no evidence that these people have done any work to achieve the Biafra nation, even without using the word Biafra. Saying that what is quite certain is that those claiming to bring self-determination for Igbos by using Biafra have only one thing in mind, and the only thing that they have in mind is power over others and the money that comes after it. So they gather up people by manipulating their very strong emotions for that word, and at the end of the day use it to damage the cause of the people who accept their lies as truth and put their hopes of freedom on them. It is all quite pitiful situation, saying that signals that this actually signals danger ahead for the Igbo nations, and he's trying to explain